Good evening, dear students. Now, the further topic is about the types of substances, and types of substances are of basically two types. One is the element and other is the compound. Right? So, what is elements? Elements are the basic constituents of all matter. In the first chapter, we have actually learned this. What is matter and what are the constituents of the matter. So, what is element? An element is the simplest form of matter which cannot be split into simpler substances by any chemical or physical methods. That means the smallest particle of a matter of an atom is termed as an element, which is simplest in itself, and further its simpler substance by normal physical or chemical method is not possible. Right? Examples we know: copper, gold, silver. If we take a smallest particle of this, then copper will resemble with the smallest particle of the copper. The smallest particle of the gold will be similar to the bigger particles. So these are the pure simple substance which are termed as element. As per atomic theory, Dalton has given the atomic theory, and as per atomic theory, an element is composed of atoms of the same kind. So once again, the same example: if you take an iron piece and if you break it into the very simple small pieces, the atoms of an element are of same kind. If I mix gold and iron, then they will be separate, but all the particles of the gold will be of gold, all of atom iron will be of iron, of carbon will be of carbon. Only a few elements occur in their pure form, but most elements are present in nature in the compound as a combined forms. So mostly they are existing as a compound, not the pure, and few are there which are which are coming in the pure form. Common elements cannot be made in a laboratory. Till the day, 118 elements are known to us, out of which 93 elements are naturally occurring from the nature, and remaining all are synthesized in the laboratories that are made in the laboratory. But certain common elements which are available from the nature are not made in the laboratories. Certain elements can be made in very small amount by using the special techniques in the laboratories. Now the compounds. All compounds are formed as a result of chemical reactions, so they are also called chemical compounds. When two or more than two different chemical reacts with each other, they will form compound, so they are called chemical compound. A compound is a pure substance made up of two or more elements combined chemically in a definite proportion by mass. Definite, that means constant, and by mass, that means by weight. So compound is that substance which is made up of two or more elements but mixed in a proper proportion, not haphazardly. See, here is an example of water. A water is a chemical compound of two atoms of two different atoms, that is of hydrogen and oxygen. Formula is H2O. From the formula itself, we will come to know the ratio is 2:1 by volume. But what is the ratio by mass? The hydrogen atomic mass is 1, and here 2 hydrogen, so 2 gram of hydrogen. Oxygen atomic mass is 16, so 16 gram of oxygen. That means it will be 2 8 16, 1 over 8. So by mass it is 1:8. So proper proportion of hydrogen mass 1 to the oxygen mass 8 is mixed, then it will be a compound water. If this proportion is not proper, then the existing compound won't be water, it will be something else. So it is said that compound is made up of two or more elements but in a definite proportion. In the same way, pure sodium chloride contains 60.66% chlorine and 39.34% sodium. So in total it will be 100% sodium chloride, that is the common salt. What are the characteristics of chemical compounds? A chemical compound is obtained by the chemical combination of two or more elements in a definite proportion. So the compounds are homogeneous. That means their properties throughout will remain same. If properties will not remain same throughout, then it won't be homogeneous. The chemical and physical properties of compound are entirely different from those of the constituent elements. It means when two different elements combine to form a compound, then the new compound which is formed, the property of that new compound is completely different, entirely different. As in example of water here, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen is combustible gas, oxygen is supporter of the combustion. That means both will support for the combustion, but the compound of the hydrogen and oxygen is water, which is neither combustible nor supporter of combustion, but it is helping into the extinguishing of the combustion, that is helps in the extinguishing of the fire. During the formation of a compound for its element, certain amount of energy in the form of heat, light or electricity is either absorbed or evolved. Carbon plus oxygen. Carbon is an element, oxygen is an element. When both combine, it will give a new product, that is carbon dioxide. It is a compound, but it will release the energy in the form of heat. This elements portion is continue, but it was left to explain and even writing also, so I have continued here. Robert Boyle in 1661 was the first scientist to use the term element, and Antony Laurent Lavoisier, a French scientist, was first to give the definition of an element, right? And I told at present 118 elements are known, 93 are naturally occurring, others are synthesized. Majority elements are solid, 11 elements are in the gaseous state at room temperature, and some of the elements, or I can say two elements, are liquid at the room temperature, that is mercury, metal, and bromine, non-metal. Elements gallium and cesium become liquid. They are solid in form, solid matter, but at the room temperature even they becomes liquid, so they are specially stored where the temperature is to be maintained less than the room temperature. Basically, or normally we say, elements are divided into three categories, that is metals, non-metals, metalloids. And what are the physical properties of metals and non-metals? I have discussed over here. I have written over here and I am discussing now. You can even write it when difference is asked for them. Metals. So metals are lustrous, that means their surface is shining. You have seen the jewelry, statues of god, goddesses made up of silver, made up of gold, worshipping utensils or prasad utensils for the god is of silver and gold. They are made up of metals. Gold is a metal, silver is a metal, and you have seen they are shining, which is termed as lustrous. On the other hand, non-metals are non-lustrous, carbon, sulfur, right? They are non-metals, but they do not shine. Metals are hard except sodium and potassium. Most metals are hard, but if you see the sodium and potassium, their characteristic, they are very soft. They resembles like the piece of the paneer, even they are able to cut by the knife. On the other hand, non-metals, those which are solids, are generally brittle. Non-metals are not hard, they are brittle. Brittle means which breaks easily, right? But a diamond is a non-metal, allotrope of carbon, which is the hardest non-metal. The next is metals are ductile. Ductile, that means long wires of metals can be made. Gold, copper, silver. Gold is having high ductility and very thin wire even is made possible from the gold. We can say out of 1 gram of gold, nearly 1 kilometer long wire can be prepared. Non-metals are not ductile, their wires are not possible. Metals are sonorous, that means they give ringing sound. In the school, when the bell rings, we listen the sound of the bell. Why? Because the bell is made up of metal brass. It is the alloy of the two metals, and that is the brass, right? Whereas non-metals are non-sonorous. Metals are malleable, means thin sheets are made possible of it by hammering on it. Aluminum foil, you have seen how thin it is, right? And non-metals are non-malleable. Metals are good conductor of electricity and heat, whereas non-metals are bad conductor of electricity and heat. As metals are good conductor of electricity and heat, so copper is used for the copper wire in most of the electric circuits. Metals are generally solid except mercury. It is in liquid, which is used in the thermometer. And non-metal exists as solid, liquid and even as a gas, right? Carbon, sulfur, phosphorus are solids. Bromine is a liquid. Helium, hydrogen, neon, argon, noble gases are non-metals and they are gaseous form. Some elements show both properties. They are resembling to the metal as well as non-metal, and so they are known as metalloids. They are boron, silicon and germanium.